talked about like really being the theme of this offseason was the Patriots improving their run game. Now, A.J. Brown, was obviously in the Eagles offense. They were run first. The Patriots aren't going to run that much, but they are going to use the run game to set up easier opportunities for him, not just off of play action, but in sets where he's the only wide receiver and you've got 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, or some kind of jumbo look. Well, we're going to go no huddle, and we're going to spread everybody out. And again, AJ3 is either the number 2 running up the seam or is running a short route as the number 3. And then you're talking about really tough mismatches against potentially linebackers and guys who are completely overmatched. So I think that even without a breakout season from Kyle Williams and just the Matt Collins you got last year, this probably now is a top 5 passing game, largely because of they already were a top 5 passing game. But wide receiver core, I think that pretty easily this is a top 5 unit.
Taylor Kyle's talking about the Patriots passing game. Let's take a look at the receiver room now as it stands for the Patriots after acquiring A.J. Brown. He's in for his physical today, assuming he passes, assuming they don't see anything dramatically different from what they already know about his knee.
You put linebacker on him?
They are going to be completing that deal today. Here are the guys that are in the room, including A.J. Brown. Brown, Dobbs, Booty, Kyle Williams, Demario Douglas, Matt Collins, Efton Chisholm III, and then other names that we're not going to get into because, well, they have no shot of making the team. So they have 7 guys in the room right now. You're not carrying 7 receivers.
No. We'll rank them in order of 1 through 7. As it stated, it's got to be A.J. Brown 1.
Yes.
Dobbs would be 2.
Yes.
Matt Collins would be 3.
I would agree with that. And after that...
Then I'd go... Like, if you're just asking me, just based on what I've seen the last year or two, I'd go Booty after that.
So the bottom 3 would be Douglas, Williams,
then Williams.
Chisholm.
And don't forget, Mike Reese had that, 2 weeks ago, that he could potentially see Pop having a roster battle with Efton Chisholm.
Well, that to me makes sense.
Yes.
That to me needs to be a decision.
They like Chisholm.
Pick one. Which guy do you want? They're the same type of player. You need to pick one of those. The other one is the odd man out. So that's where you get down to 6. Is 6 going to be their number going into the year?
I think it will be.
Well, then there you go. There it is. I mean, that's how they sort this out. They sort it out with Chisholm and Douglas battling, which means Booty could stay.
I totally agree.
Which means he doesn't have to be traded.
Now, maybe they had some vision in moving him somewhere, and that's why he wasn't in. And now you can tell him, hey, get in here and let's get going. And whatever we told you or whatever the plan was, it fell through.
Well, that sounds a lot easier said than done.
I know.
I mean, because now it's Kayshon Boutte. Yeah, get up and going. You're not playing anymore.
Contract year 2, by the way.
So I don't know how that's not going to just happen and be resolved because they're like, oh, get up and get going. Like, no, he's pissed. Right. He's not going to be happy. So
come on in. You're 1 notch down the depth chart.
Right? I just don't know how that works.
You need to get over it, too.
I'm just
understand the room.
I know, but heading into free agency.
Get over it.
Well, I mean, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Who do you think he thinks he's better than?
That's not what it's about. It's
if I'm
about
coming back in, I know I'm the number 4th guy.
He's a guy who believes he can play and wants to be on the field playing. I mean, that's what it's about.
Players don't think like that anymore.
Right. Players don't think like, oh, I'm not as good as A.J. Brown. Therefore, I will fall in line and know my role. No, he's going to say, wait a second. I was playing in every game last year, and now you want to tell me that I'm not playing. And I think that that's crazy. And he's probably going to say to them, wasn't I your most productive receiver in the playoffs last year?
Yes.
All right, so you don't think that comes into play?
Yeah, I mean, but like...
You want him to just accept it and eat it? He's not going to do it. He won't even show up for OTAs right now. So this is why I say you can make the numbers work and keep Boutte in the mix, but I just think from a human standpoint, he's not going to accept this. He wants out. That's my theory. Yep. It's why I think he's not at OTAs. I think he knows and knew that this deal was about to happen. He saw that writing on the wall, and now he's going to angle to get out of here. Burt Breer even reporting the Pats would trade him for a 5th or 6th round pick right now if someone came along. Why do you think they're willing to do that? If you believe he's worth something in a trade, I think that's what his value would be. I don't think he's a special player. Why do you think they're willing to do that? Because they know he's not happy and doesn't want to be here. Playing behind A.J. Brown now. He doesn't want to do that. So, move him. Get him moved. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a late round pick.
What you did with Joe Milton.
Doesn't work anymore.
Go get that 5th round pick back.
Sure.
That is true.
That's exactly right.
It is true. Joe Milton thought he should have been competing for the gig.
Of course.
Do you see it any more likely that they'll keep 6 receivers after Julian Hill went on IR?
Well, I mean, sure, I could see that, but I'd rather they go find another tight end. What is the deal with him?
I don't know. Season-ending IR yesterday. They just announced it.
But that just came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't hear anything on that at all. That was weird.
I'm sure we'll find out at 11:30.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
That's one good thing about it. He'll give you the information.
I mean, my only question is it a non-football injury or a football injury?
What do you mean, like talking Foxborough flu type injury? Or like
No.
He got
This
money.
terrible for them.
Yeah, they made money. Like this is the guy you targeted and went after. You liked. Like, hey, he could fit here. He could be our third blocker.
Like a Chooks situation?
No, I'm saying, did he,
blow out his knee last week in OTAs?
Yeah.
Did he rupture something in practice?
Was he in practice and ran and cut wrong and
could have done a lift of
tore
weights.
up a knee, or did he, was he rock climbing
Jet ski.
in Arizona?
Yeah.
Right.
Was he watching too many sunsets in Sedona? I don't know.
Fell off
I'm
the
just like, what
balcony?
happened?
Was he down at the Bass Pro Shop and he
You know?
fell in that big fish tank and had trouble getting out? There's so many things that could happen. Maybe he went up the lighthouse. Took a spill on the way down. I don't know. Could have ruptured something lifting weights. That's how Ted Johnson got hurt himself. Tackling Jerome Bettis. See guys lifting weights. Bench pressing. Heard guys pecs pop doing that.
Well, Mike Vrabel's going to speak at 11:30, and we'll maybe get some answers on that. He was one of the free agent signings for the Patriots. Now he's on IR. I don't think that the receiver thing plays into that because I don't think that player was going to factor into the receiving game in a big way.
Right.
He was here to block. A blocking tight end.
Yeah, you had a specific role for him.
Yeah, so I don't see that impacting the receiver
You signed
numbers.
him and you signed a fullback. Like they're trying to, we're trying to.
But I would also throw this into the mix, by the way. I don't think the Patriots receiver room, after their first 3 guys, I'll include Mac Hollins in this, is all that good.
It's up in the air.
It's not deep. It's why they so badly needed A.J. Brown.
No kidding. This is why
it was devoid of talent.
And everybody I talked to like that, like they're watching the OTAs. I'm like Dobbs isn't a 1, guys. So everybody thought, okay, they're not gonna give up a 1 for A.J. Brown. They're gonna roll with what they have. They were never gonna roll with what they have.
I feel like the Dobbs move looks better now.
Yes.
Oh, Dobbs is a guy you signed to be your number 2. That's great.
Right.
That's what you should be doing.
They're telling
That
you
makes
we don't
sense.
have a 1 and a 2.
And I like the Dobbs move anyway from the
Yeah.
beginning. I think he's a good player. But
But you were always like, that's it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't think this group is now top 5, like Taylor said?
He said he didn't say they're a top 5 group. That's not what he
Cincinnati,
said.
Dallas,
he said they'll
Rams.
be a top 5 passing offense again.
Detroit.
That's about yards. That's not about the talent
I
of
took
the
it as
group.
personnel. I took it as personnel like you did.
Listen to it again. That's not what he said.
I think that even without a breakout season from Kyle Williams and just the Mac Hollins you got last year, this probably now is a top 5 passing game, largely because of they already were a top 5 passing game. But wide receiver core, I think that pretty easily this is a top 5 unit at this point.
They did go back to receiving core. But even though you factor the quarterback in too.
They were number 4 in the NFL in passing offense last year.
Yeah.
Does that mean they had the top 5 room?
No.
God, no. And I don't know. I don't know that they do now. I mean, it's good. We could figure that out another day. But my point was this. After those first 3, again, Mac Hollins is he's okay. Like, it's not this spectacular room top to bottom, which would tell me that all of those jobs down at we'll call the bottom half of the room, are up for grabs and are positions that if something else came along, let's say a training camp cut from another team came along, and there's an unexpected player that's out there, I would not put it past them to go take a peek and bring someone else in. I don't think they're just choosing from the players that are currently there. if that makes sense.
I'm with you on that. I just think the situation with Booty going into the contract year,
it's over.
Coming up with the targets that he had, having to take a back seat, that's a different dynamic.
To me, that thing is over.
I just think it's cool. Brown's going to wear number 1 now. We get to see all the old poke jerseys.
Devontae Parker?
Yeah, with the the tape over it. Brown.
Akil Harry.
The Mac Jones one.
Yeah, you get the old school one that it just has the list of the guys.
Number 1 does not have a great history with receivers here.
No, see, the good thing is, though, you can just cut the nameplate out.
Go all the way back to Cam Newton. Even you can throw quarterbacks in the mix, too.
That's right. They got to be sitting on some of those jerseys in there, too. Just cut the nameplates off. They make a new nameplate. That's what I had to do.
I like the Devontae Parker trade when it first happened, too. That's man.
I love Parker. I did, too.
50-50 guy.
Well,
Whoops.
80-20. I think he said he's an 80-20 guy. Yeah. You said 50-50.
All right. Well, with that being the case, we're getting ready for Mike Vrabel. He's going to come up to the podium in about 15 minutes. We'll have it live. Stay tuned.
Zolak and Bertrand.
Zolak and who?
On the Sports Hub.
617-779-0985, the phone number. Let's grab your calls with Mike, who's in Norwood. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How's it going?
Good.
Hey, just a quick thing. This is a huge need for the Patriots. The Pats were bottom 5 in the league in yards after contact for wide receivers. Brown was top 5 in the league since entering the league. I know Bert likes little fun stats that I give him for Tatum, and here's a fun one with Brown. If you take out the 1 yard screens from all the other receivers, Brown's number 1 in the league since entering the league in yards after contact. This is a huge need. I'd rather the Patriots do what they need instead of being like the Red Sox and not going out and getting your guy. So go out and get it. Go Pats. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent point when you say go out and getting your guy, because that speaks to the part of, hey, sometimes you've got to take on a big amount of risk to do a big thing. And I think that's what they're doing. And I think it's wrong to not at least acknowledge that there's a massive amount of risk involved in this deal.
Of course there is.
Doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean I disagree with it. I love the deal. I love that they did this. But you've got to acknowledge the risk involved in this. It's not a slam dunk. I don't know that it's going to work out. I sure as hell hope it does.
No, the schedule's tough. Injuries happen. You benefited from not having catastrophic injuries a year ago. Like, you had Will Campbell. We thought his season was over. He was out for what? 4 weeks. Milt Williams was out 5. Those are the 2 big ones. You stay healthy, you're going to have a shot here. A shot is being a contender, playoff team. Yeah, that's what you should be. You're a playoff team. You better be a playoff team. You do these type of moves, you should be a playoff team. They went out and invested a receiver, big, and gave up collateral to get one. Like, they signed Dobbs first, like you brought up the point. This makes the Dobbs signing look that much better. Because they didn't view it as a 1. They knew what they were doing. Because then you go down and you watch OTAs, and the way Dobbs is operating, like, that's not the way a number 1 operates. Just based on where he is in formation, if it's middle, if it's slot. And I guess I talked to Mike Reese. Like, he was surprised by the size of Dobbs from a height standpoint. Like, he looks bigger than the other guys. He's actually taller than A.J. Brown. Which is crazy. A.J. Brown.
I mean, should we
A.J.
really
Brown,
be taking Reese's word for for this? I mean,
he's always looking up at people anyway.
Reese is looking up at everybody.
Right. You get a sore neck doing that, you know? One of the ways you get a sore neck.
Easy.
What do you think?
I had to go to the second step on my step stool.
That
measures it.
That picture of him and Trent Brown when he's up on the ladder.
Yeah.
Trent Brown is
awesome.
Oh, man. I'm in the minority. Outside of the knee, which maybe it is a risk, can you give me an example of a top 10 receiver pairing up with a top 5 quarterback, pairing up with a really good offensive coordinator that didn't work?
Head coach, coordinator, quarterback. You got them all 3. You got all 3, and you add this.
And maybe the receiver does become disgruntled in a few years, but we're talking about with the knee anyways, a 2 to 3 year window.
It's on your head coach to keep that in check. That's his guy. It's his pick. It's his trade.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to define what you count as working. Like, Devontae Adams, to me, worked in Vegas.
That was weird. Like,
but it wasn't great in the end.
He was supposedly so
you know
upset.
What I mean?
He was so upset that we went and looked at the numbers and we're like, what? Yeah.
Crazy stats.
What?
His first year there, he had 14
It
touchdowns.
was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Plus, he took out Mike Perry and shattered his knee. That was awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's ways in which it works
No, I'm kidding.
before it doesn't. That's all.
1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, 100 catches.
Oh,
That's
my
crazy.
goodness.
Stacy looks happy today. Stacy James down there smiling. It's a good day for him today. Yeah.
All right, we're going to grab check of the headlines, and we will be ready for Mike Vrabel when he steps to the podium just minutes from now in Foxborough. Stick around.
Nothing happens in Boston sports
What's he doing?
you won't find out about here.
Blowing on the nozzle.
Zolak and Bertrand.
Thought it was clogged.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Just like our players. And so I think it's best is to have that done now so that Doug will be ready to go for training camp and there won't be any setbacks. So if you don't see Doug out there, that's what's going on there. We have moved after some deliberation the mandatory minicamp to next week, June 9th, 10th, and 11th. That'll give us, Monday to clean up a couple physicals on some guys that weren't here previously. And then 3 days of really good work there. And that will conclude, the veteran off-season program. We'll have the rookies for a little bit of time after that. And joint practices. So as well as those worked out last year, certainly the one day with the Commanders here, and then traveling to Minnesota. We'll have Indianapolis on the 11th, on August 11th, which will be, this very good team to go against. This a very good offensive football team. Shane's an excellent offensive coach and excellent head coach, but very good offensive line, versatility on their defense. So that'll be an important day for us. And then Philadelphia will come here for the 19th and 20th of August. So that'll allow us to work against an accomplished football team that's used to winning and has a very good football team and great players and well coached. The last item, where you at, Julia? Hi, Julia.
How are you?
Congratulations. So Julia just decided to dabble in a marathon in Oregon and ran it in 2 hours and 50 minutes and 2 seconds. Yeah, I know. And won. So congratulations, Julia, and don't keep those things a secret. So she went and dabbled in a marathon and won. What do you got, Karen?
Given your relationship with A.J. Brown, knowing him as a person and a player, how important was it for you to make that deal happen?
Well, not important. I mean, again, I think that just trying to improve our football team every possible way, give our offense multiple weapons to build on what we did last year. And I think having experience with the person, to be able to add an accomplished NFL football player, receiver, premium player at his position, but somebody that we also feel strongly about as a person and a competitor and as a teammate. I appreciate Elliott for being able to work and get that done.
Knowing AJ, in your eyes, what makes him such a special wide receiver?
Well, I think he loves football. I think that he has a physical skill set. I think he's got great body control. I think he's strong at the catch point. But I also think as he's grown as a player and as a receiver, just the nuances of releases versus press, or playing versus bracketed coverages or zone coverages, plays physical with the football, and again has been productive and a consistent player.
When you coached him, did AJ ever tell you that he was a Patriots fan?
I mean, I think that was known a long time. I think I knew that.
Yeah.
I think he showed me pictures when he was a little kid wearing my jersey and stuff like that. That he didn't wear my jersey. Yeah, I mean, I think I knew that just from the time that he, like I think when we drafted him, he was like, I wish the Patriots drafted me. And I said, well, that didn't happen. The Titans drafted you. So, I think that there's the success that this team had in those years when a lot of our players were growing up. It would be easy to root for a lot of players that played for this team in the early 2000s.
Mike, he had a tumultuous time in Philadelphia, despite the production and success they had. Why are you confident that won't happen here?
Well, I mean, again, whatever happens or comes up, I think that I can't say that there's not going to be things that come up with AJ, with any single player, right? I think that this is a competitive game, highly competitive. Players want to win. Players want to do everything that they can to help their team. They want to make sure that people are on the right page. So I don't get into a lot of that. I think that what's the most important is that those things don't carry into the locker room, that they get handled. And you see that all the time on the sidelines. We want to have conversations in a meeting room. We want to have conversations at practice. And, sometimes those conversations are animated, but it's all in the sake of trying to get on the same page and get right. So, again, I don't know what happened. I'm not trying to figure out what happened in Philadelphia. I'm trying to focus on what's going to happen here and trying to get him acclimated to what we do and how we do it.
Mike, there's been a lot of reporting about him having a degenerative knee condition. You're obviously comfortable enough to make the trade for him, but is that something, because of your past history, you gain a little more comfort and you will have to manage this player, though, going forward?
Well, there's a lot. Again, when you get to talk about 90 guys or 91 guys, there's going to be a different plan for every single guy. And again, I think that looking at the body of work and the availability that he's been able to have, and whether we have to manage him or anybody else, it's a long season. So, there'll be things that we'll have to deal with, and we'll try to do that accordingly. But just based on looking at his availability in the games that he's been able to play in and be there for his team, I think that hopefully leads to future availability.
Mike, what do you know about AJ that you hope we and his teammates learn about him?
That he loves football, that he cares about his team. I think he is knowledgeable, and again, I think that he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. Nobody does. They have to go out there and practice. They have to know what to do. They have to play to a certain identity and do their job and focus on that. Nobody needs to do anything that's outside of what we've ever asked any of our players to do. And I'm confident that he'll do that. And he's humble. These are. I'm excited to have him get to know our players, and our players get to know him and everybody else as we work through the last couple of weeks here.
Mike, is the plan for him to play under the contract that he had with the Eagles?
I mean, he's been here a day, so the plan is for him to practice and try to get acclimated. I don't see anything that would preclude him from doing that. I mean, right now, I just excited to add the player. I know the football team is looking forward to having him and practice and get acclimated and whatever that looks like today. So, by all accounts, he's ready to go.
Mike, you guys obviously gave up a first round. You gave up a first-round pick to get him. Do you view this as a win now move?
We have to. We have to win. That's our job, is to win. That's their job and responsibility and the expectations in the National Football League. It's not to go 4-13 2 years in a row, if that's what you mean.
Mike, what went into the decision to put Julian Hill on IR?
Julian won't be able to play the season. That's plain and simple. So devastating, awful. I really enjoyed the person and want to have him around here as much as we possibly can. But just because he wouldn't be able to play this season. So, that's just disappointing because of just the impact that he made in a short amount of time with his teammates and then just the person that he is, the way that he practiced. And, so again, we'll we want Julian to be a part of us as much as possible. He's just not going to do that on the field this year.
Mike, was that a football injury? Yeah, was that something that happened in practice?
That was something that happened in practice, yes.
Mike, to confirm, did AJ already take his physical? Did he pass it? So, and what do you expect from his practice? It's participation today.
Yep, AJ passed the physical, and we'll be out there in some capacity. We'll have to monitor it, just because he hasn't been with us, and so I think it's important that we do that, but also important that he be out there and kind of see how we do things. I'm sure there's 32 different stretching routines and 32 different individuals, and kind of where everything goes, and I think that's an important process too, and hopefully he can know enough to line up and take some snaps in some of the team periods as well.
AJ lined up wide like 88% of the time, I believe it was last year with the Eagles. You mentioned the intelligence. Do you see him as more of an X in your system or more of a chess piece you like?
Well, I think all the guys right now are going to learn a lot of the different positions. I think that the ones that have been here, that's how Todd's tried to install the offense, is to know what each player has on each concept and learn it that way. And I would imagine that AJ would do the same and give guys the ability to line inside, or Kyle, or line outside, and use Romeo inside. So I think to try to just right now he's going to have to learn one position, and I would imagine that's going to be outside. But as that grows, I know that will be across the board, and I think that that's hopefully something that he's looking forward to do. But you have to learn one before you can learn them all.
I'm curious, with the event with Drake the other day, what was it like to just see the team come together in that way and show support and also kind of have that little competitiveness, but also just the camaraderie of a team?
Well, I think it just speaks volumes to Drake and Michael, just the people that they are to organize something like that for the fans, and where it was, and the amount of the families that were out there. That's 10,000 people, and I would say most of them were families. The support that he got from the players, and I could imagine when they saw that it may rain, that guys could have bailed on them, and I think it was just an amazing night, a fun night. A little bit of competitive. Some guys that I thought were better at salt. Marcus Jones played a hell of a second base, and I was pretty impressed. And I think the guys had a good time, and it was for a great cause.
Saw you hitting, I think it was like the crying face towards Christian at one point. Did your competitiveness come out a little bit?
No, I was not. I was trying to coach, and the umpires were not interested in any of our replays that we thought. And at that point in time, it was 7-0. I was like, we're gonna have to try to keep this thing close, and they didn't want to try to do that. So just having fun, and it was great to see Gonzo and everybody else that came to support Drake and Michael.
I've been asking you about AJ for quite some time now. At what point did you know that this was a move that you guys wanted to make, and just could you?
Well, I think there were conversations early on, and then those stalled and had to wait, and then Elliot texted me yesterday afternoon, sometime after 4 o'clock, that it got done, and I said, "Great job, thank you." And when's he coming in?
With the addition of Romeo and AJ, obviously some guys in that wide receiver room won't get the same amount of opportunities as last year. Do you feel like you need to communicate with those guys about that, or just let it play out in practice?
Well, practice is critical. I think the opportunities that everybody gets are going to be earned, and I think that there's a spot for everybody. I think that guys are to give them opportunities. They create their own opportunities, and so. I can't predict the future. I don't know what that means. I know that I'm excited about the different versatility and the different skill sets that we have, and guys are continuing to improve. Kyle, there was maybe a drop yesterday that led to an interception, and quick conversation with Kyle, just saying, hey, listen, that's the first quarter. There's nothing we can do about it, and hope the defense held him to a field goal. Shortly thereafter, was able to create a 60-yard touchdown and make a hell of a catch. And that's why you practice, and that's why you try to script the practice as similar to a game as you possibly can. It's a long game. There's going to be mistakes that happen early on in the game. It's how we respond to them, and it was really good to see Kyle do that. So there's a lot of guys in there that are working hard, and hopefully Drake just throws to whoever's open.
Mike, as an organization, Mike.
Karen, go ahead.
There appears to be a
contract situation involving Christian Gonzalez. Are you hoping or working toward resolving that so you see him at minicamp and down the road?
Well, I think that there's, the contract is the business and the professional side of this. The personal side, I don't want to let anything interfere with that. I want Christian to be ready when he comes back, and I would imagine that he would be here next week. And if he is, then we'll coach him and be ready to move on and get him ready to help us and help himself. And contracts are a part of professional sports. I understand that, but I also know that those should remain private. And like any contract, you want to make sure or negotiation that everybody feels like they get something out of it. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is Mike Vrabel wrapping up his press conference in Foxborough after the Patriots acquire A.J. Brown. He evaded a number of questions there about some pretty specific stuff, whether it be the contract extension or lack thereof for Christian Gonzalez. Didn't want to go there on that. Didn't want to go there on whether or not A.J. Brown would be playing on his current deal that he had with the Eagles. He completely avoided it, would not answer the question.
He actually paused before that one, and I think he actually acknowledged that this is sort of a holdout, or is a holdout for Gonzalez, because he said, hey, this is the business side of things. That's indicating, he chose not to be here.
Also didn't really want to get into it on Booty, and I took it as a question about Booty, which is about how other players' playing time would be impacted by moves the team makes. Didn't want to go there on that. Yeah. We didn't get a ton out of this one. We didn't get a ton.
Well, the heel injury, too, in practice.
Wouldn't say what it was, but did say it happened in practice.
Mike Reese saying that he's been told it's a knee injury. So Reese is reporting it was a knee injury in
So
practice.
he probably had an
ACL
issue in practice. That's tough. That's tough.
That sucks.
That is.
Talking about Deshaun Watson tore his up. He was league MVP, up for it twice. And then just reverse pivoted on a toss play and ruptured his Achilles. That's how it happens.
Anything else you heard there from him? He made it sound as if the deal had just come together after 4 p.m. yesterday, and Elliott just gave him a quick call and let him know what happened.
Texted.
Thank you very much. When's he coming in?
Yeah. Gave Elliott credit for getting the deal done. Still indicating Elliott's doing the deals, making the picks.
This is not an Elliott deal. This is Mike Vrabel's move. Maybe Elliott had to be convinced to go along with it, but I don't think anyone wakes up and says, you know what? We really got to get A.J. Brown. We really got to get that guy. We really want A.J. Brown.
Mike, guess what we just did? They had no idea.
Yeah. Mike was having a snack. Mike was having a snack, and he's like, oh, my phone's vibrating. Oh, I got to
the first call you got to make in one of those is
Elliott texted. He traded for A.J. Brown. Thank you. When's it coming in?
Yeah.
We ran on him.
All right, so more on this coming up as the Patriots pull off a big move yesterday. That was Mike Vrabel's press conference. We will get into some other things coming up, including this or that today at 12:50. It is Tuesday. Tuesdays and Thursdays during these summer months. That's all on the way on Zolak and Bertrand.
We're back with more Zolak and Bertrand on the Sports Hub.
Plan for him to play under the contract that he had with the Eagles?
He's been here a day, so the plan is for him to practice and try to get acclimated. I don't see anything that would preclude him from doing that. Right now I just excited to add the player. I know the football team is looking forward to having him and practice and get acclimated and whatever that looks like today. So, by all accounts, he's ready to go.
What the hell kind of answer is that?
Did you hear that there at the end?
A useless answer.
How about that? The football team was looking forward to having him. They all knew. Look at the way they answered questions. They openly talked about the player. That's never been done here. We don't talk about other players on other teams.
It's because I don't think it's all that meaningful of an answer, because I don't think he put in a lot of thought into that answer. He was just trying to avoid the question.
Yeah.
And nothing that will preclude him from doing that. What? Meaning what? He's not holding out? What are we talking about? If the answer was he's playing on the contract, why would they hide it? Why would he not just answer, yeah, no, he's playing on the contract that he's currently is on? Why would he not say that? What would be the reason to not answer that question? There is no reason.
Right. I think he knows it has to get done. So I think it's like, how do I answer this?
What has to get done? When you say has to get done?
The contract has to get done.
What do you mean?
You got to sign a kid. Who we talking about? Gonzalez here,
He's
right?
being asked about AJ Brown.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Because that's what I mean. Like, okay. All right. I got confused there because I thought then, wait a minute, you're talking about Gonzalez.
No.
So I took that as Brown, meaning like the team was looking forward to having him in here. Like he told them then that we're going to acquire him.
I understand that. I'm talking about his contract. He was asked, is he going to play on the same contract that he played on in Philadelphia that he is currently signed to? Mike Vrabel would not answer the question. If he's going to play on the same contract that he was on in Philadelphia, why not answer that question?
So I don't think that means they have come to that decision yet where you sit down and you look at it. It's not only for this year, but the year after, and maybe the year after that. Like, you got to really sit down with your money people and say, here's what we got to pay Drake next year. We got to factor in Gonzo here at some point. We know what AJ's set to make here the next two or 3 years. How do we adjust this? Do we even go to him and adjust it, or we just ride it out? And do we wait on the quarterback, or do we tell Gonzo just go play? See, he's not going to show up and play if the deal isn't done. Meaning Gonzalez. Like, I think it's part of the bigger picture where he technically can't answer that yet. I think it's just get him in the door, and then we'll deal with it. Get the deal done. But now you need to start looking how we're going to pay these guys.
So do you believe that they are going to go to him and say, you need to take a pay cut?
No.
Do you believe they'll go to him and say, you've got to
maybe
restructure your deal? We don't want you playing on the deal that you're currently.
Because remember,
that's what it would tell me. He's not playing on his deal.
The quarterback's
they want him to take it. They want him to take a different deal.
And that's why I think you have to get Gonzo done too, because you can front load that because the quarterback's on low money right now. So it's this year where you had that massive cap space without having to pay the $75 million for Drake May. So you got to factor that in, all that. Who else is coming up?
I don't know.
I mean, you know,
I'm not
Hunter Henry comes off
factoring
the
that.
books,
I
right?
think that it's honestly, I'm not tying them together. We'll talk more about that, about Gonzalez and all of this, because Mike Vrabel was just asked about him. But is AJ Brown on a good deal for any team right now? No, he's on a bad deal. Yeah. Makes a lot of money. And so,
I don't think you trade for the guy. Give up what you gave for him. Then ask him to take the pay cut. Like we're gonna front load it now. You know, like guarantee it. Part of it. Accelerate that. Restructure.
You think they do restructures just to pay him the same amount of money?
No, I think he's gonna get a little more.
Yeah. You think he's gonna get a pay increase?
Well, I think a little bit. If he could just say no. Just pay me what I'm paying. Pay me what I'm supposed to get paid.
No. What you get is
what they do with Wynn. The guaranteed win, a winner.
They guaranteed $10 million, and his cap hit dropped by $7.5 million.
So, see, this is where you got to get like creative, and it's over my head. The cap stuff. Like, okay, so Weno's in his last year, right? It's last year. And that guy played every snap, every game. Probably your most dependable lineman. I guess he came in heavy too. People are saying. I guess Bedard said that. Shirt was a little tight. But he does that every year, though. Then he gets in shape. Gets in shape through camp. Guy's a normal guy. For the most part.
On the deal, though, in terms of guaranteed money, if they go to him and they want him to take a new deal, a different restructured deal, they might end up guaranteeing more money, more than the $33 million
Correct.
that is currently left on the deal. But if you think it results in them paying out more money than what he is currently owed, I think there's no shot in hell.
Okay.
That's why they're going to go to him. They're not going to go to him to pay him more actual real money and just worry about their cap space. they're going to go to him to reduce the amount of money that they owe him. And the trade-off will be, we're going to pay you less, but we're going to give you more in the form of guaranteed money. You won't have $33 million remaining that's guaranteed. We'll guarantee $40 million moving forward.
And that's a pretty good deal for you considering the situation with your knee. Without telling him that. You know, he's been a really productive player for the last 4 years. He's going to look at it as I'm worth every penny of it. You're the team that gave up one of the five to come get me. So why should I be readjusting and taking pay cuts here? You know, it's like the old way. You take a pay cut to come play with Tom Brady. That doesn't exist anymore.
There's an out in this deal after next year. So I think the way they're going to break this down is end up giving him more money and restructure the timeline a little bit is the way it's going to go, to sum that up as basically as possible in the most basic of terms. That's what I think is going to end up happening.
What was at the end with Gilmore? They moved the money from the last year, $5 million much up more, but then he still kind of got pissed off and held out. Had that sore quad. Tried to accelerate that money into the previous year, heading into his last year, where that lowered that number. It gets a little dicey there with these veterans when you do that with them. Sort of signifies the beginning of the end. You're just beginning with this guy. So I don't know how they're going to handle it. But you're right. Like, he's making a lot. But the player's going to look at it as, I am a productive guy. I am a one. I step in this room. I'm clearly the number one here. I was supposed to help your quarterback, and now I'm supposed to take the pay cut? No.
There's also not guaranteed money in the final 2 years of the deal.
Right.
In 28 and 29. There's no guaranteed money there. They can get out of it and not pay a dime in any sort of dead cap penalties. They'll save all the money that was due to them on the cap and in real money. So my guess is they try and change the timeline, make him understand that after the next 2 years really after the next year, there's not a ton coming his way. Why not drop that number, spread it out a little bit, and then get A.J. Brown on a better deal?
A little more security.
I mean, those last 2 years are useless. They're big dollar amounts, but they're not real.
Right. That's the way most contracts are written in this league. Show me what you make
in
the first 3 years.
28 and 29, it's $32 and $31 million. But that's phony baloney years in the NFL. Those don't mean anything.
Correct.
The real money is the $33 million guaranteed that the Patriots are going to owe to this player. I bet they try and change this and convert this to like a 3-year deal. That's my guess. That's what I would tell you they're going to do. I mean, honestly, I think that what Mike Vrabel did by not answering that question was send the signal that this thing is not, that he is not playing on that contract. By not answering it, to me, it tells you he's not playing on it, or that they don't want him to play on it, and that there should be hope that the deal ends up looking better for them. Yeah. Because giving up that first-round pick, what if you get A.J. Brown and you also got him on a really good deal that doesn't interfere with any of your other business on your roster? Well, it looks like a better deal.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. And that, to me, would be an automatic, in the near term, win for Vrabel, even without Brown stepping on the field. Right? Yeah. Because he could say, well, we didn't overpay for him. We got him on a good changed contract that he was willing to do because of the relationship that he has with him. I think that would be great for everybody. Well, except A.J. Brown, which, probably means he's not going to see the money at the end of that deal, which he's going to soon find out. He was never going to see the money at the end of that deal. Let's grab headlines. We'll come right back in 90 seconds. Christian Gonzalez, Mike Vrabel was asked about him. We can talk about that. And if this A.J. Brown thing somehow ties into Christian Gonzalez, I don't think it does one bit.